doesn't like the Stones? Come on. It's probably about all I can play, though, folks. Otherwise, you know, YouTube comes after you and they give you a warning. You can't use 10 seconds of a song or whatever. Whatever. Anyway, welcome to 3 at 3. 3 at 3 every business day. I bring you what's going on in the market, and I always have to tell you about our disclaimer, which says that all investments involve risk and that this is presented for informational and educational purposes only. Full stop. We are not your financial advisors. As far as intellectual property, yes, lawyers make us say this as well every show. We need to tell you that we have registered marks, trademarks, patents, and copyright on most everything you're about to see. So please ask us first before you just use any of it. Thank you. Discipline, discipline, discipline. No matter how many times I say it, no matter how many times Pete says DDA, discipline dictates action, people need to have it drilled into them. So we're about to do that. Let's talk about Nuance, shall we? Nuance is a stock that I talked about yesterday, and the options on that stock, the May 47 calls, I want to show you because people, when something doesn't go straight up immediately, then some people start fidgeting and worrying, and that's why I don't buy out of the money calls. I tend to buy at the money calls and sell out of the money calls against them, 1-to-1. It's not advice, but it is what I do. All right? So let's see how Nuance has done with the stock selling off today, slightly, less than $1, I think. But nonetheless, how did the stock do? Well, let's see. 45 calls that we had on yesterday against the 47 calls. Well, 45 calls are down more than the 47s, as they should be. They're closer to the money. They are the at the money call. The out of the money calls should move slower. As a rule of thumb, by the way, an at the money call moves 50 cents for every dollar the stock moves. That's 50 delta. Now, an out of the money call might be moving at 25, 30% of the move in the stock, depending on how far out of the money it is. These were fairly close, but nonetheless, you get the idea. I put on a spread yesterday, and that spread has worked against me by 51 cents on the one side, and on the other side, the offset, that offsets both time decay and volatility compression, is down 43 cents. So net, I'm out 8 cents. Now, if any of you are panicking over an 8-cent move, now I'm not saying you should ride this thing forever. I'm giving you an example of discipline and of how I trade. So if you're somebody panicking about 8 cents, you probably shouldn't be in the trade. On the other hand, if you're somebody that just bought those out of the money calls and they're 43 cents cheaper today, you're sitting there going, God, 43 cents, this is almost 20%. I'm feeling pretty bad about this. I get it. That's why I don't do that. I don't have a winner on every single trade, but I cut my losses and I mitigate time decay and volatility compression to the best of my ability. Now, I think if you guys are watching how I do what I do, you guys could similarly do the same, but again, I can't give you investment advice. This is our show every morning. We do the daily crypto bite. Top of the screen there, that's CJ. Middle of the screen with all the hearts, that's Matt. He must have a lot of fans. And that's me at the bottom. We were presenting some information about smart contracts being in hot wallets versus cold storage. In other words, hot wallets are things that could be sold at a moment's notice. Cold storage tends to be things that people intend to hold, hodlers in other words. So this was Glassnode. It's not my data. It's not our data. This is Glassnode's data, and we give them credit. This is Glassnode's data talking about how the smart contracts for Ethereum have been going into cold wallets while the exchanges or the hot wallets are down to 12.94%. Meanwhile, smart contract up 21+%. That's giving you an idea that the people that have been buying Ethereum on the dip are tend to be hodlers, people who are in it for the long haul rather than short trade. That's just one example of what we might talk about on our daily Crypto Bites show. It is at 10 a.m. Eastern Time every business day. And we also, of course, have courses and all the rest that you can check out. I'd encourage you to do that at marketrebellion.com/try crypto. You could try it out for just $1 for the first month. $1 for the first month, you can do that. You don't have to sign up for a year and then say, oh, we're going to try to get our money back or anything. No, $1 first month, marketrebellion.com/try crypto. Now, this is something from another cryptopreneur called Whale Maps. And Whale Maps, a whale is somebody who has 1,000 coins or more. So these were levels that the whales, wallets that, again, we don't know who the wallet is, but these are people who have 1,000 Bitcoins or more. And those are the levels that they were coming in at. As you see, big circles at that 47,400 level after it hit 57. In other words, they were coming in buying aggressively at that level. They bought all the way up to 60. Then they bought again, supporting it at 55. Now the question is, do they support 55 and 54, or does it break that back down towards that 49,000, 50,000 level? We'll see. I just thought I'd share this with you because this is one of the things that we look at when we're talking about cryptocurrencies. Now let's get to the fresh 3 at 3. This is a pot stock, APHA, Aphria. So bullish call buying. Stock's $18.87, and they're buying the April 30th expiration. That's the very end of April 30th, the last trading day in April. 20 calls. So a call that's a little over $1 out of the money. There's Aphria, 1864, down 12 cents. It's a nearly $6 billion pot stock. I like pot stocks. I'm going to be interviewing the CEO of STEM Holdings. That is the one and only Adam Beck on my podcast this week, along with Javier Hasse, who is a writer for Forbes and other places about, he covers the cannabis beat. And we're going to be talking about refiling of the Safe Banking Act. We're going to be talking about some of the medical breakthroughs for cannabis, marijuana, and just a lively discussion. I hope you can join us. That's not today, but I'll be doing it tomorrow, and then we'll post it later in the week. Market Rebellion, all of our videos are free on YouTube. So in other words, if you miss this live at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, you can always go to YouTube and find it because we have thousands of videos there. They post up, of course, as videos do on YouTube. You can go through it by date. You can check out all of them, see whether or not the advice has been great or not. I tend to think it's been pretty darn good. We work hard at it, and I have my money on the line with these trades, just like Pete does. 15,400 subscribers. Thank you, each and every one of you. Please go to YouTube, type in Market Rebellion, click subscribe, and tell a friend. Thank you. Let's take a look at Workhorse. WKHS, the 9th of April. That's 3 weeks out because this Friday is the 26th of March. Next Friday is the 1st of April. And it's not going to be, I mean, that's not even a trading day because I believe that leads into, that's Good Friday into Easter, so we won't trade on Friday. And the 9th will be the next day, so the 1st of April is Thursday. April 9th, these calls will expire. They were buying the April 15 calls with a 9th of April expiration. Make sure you're aware of that. There is the stock right now, and we are in this stock, Workhorse, and in the calls that I described. April 9th, expiration, 15 calls, as you saw there. I was just showing you the heat seeker. That's the heat seeker showing you the exchanges, the quantity, and the price. They were in at about $1.16 on these calls. If you'd care to, tomorrow at 4 o'clock Eastern, I will be on with Ryan Mastro, our chief options strategist, talking about how we trade unusual option activity. You may have seen some of the ads for this popping up here and there on the internet. We expect a little over 15,000 if most of the people that have signed up join. So that'll be a big crowd. We're looking forward to it. You can still join, and it is completely free. Yes, we'll post it to YouTube, so you'll be able to see it later. But if you want to see it and see the actionable stuff before it is yesterday's news, then you got to sign up live. You can get that for free by going to marketrebellion.com, and then you'll see how you can sign up for how we trade unusual option activity. Ryan and I tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern. Let's talk about CPNG. This is a Korean e-commerce play. I believe mobile e-commerce, isn't it all? Mobile. Bullish call buying stocks roughly $47. They're buying the April 50 calls. Bang. April 50 calls, $3 out of the money. You know what I'm more likely to do, buy an at the money and sell an out of the money. This is an $80 billion stock, folks. So this is not small potatoes. Even if you haven't seen it before, Coupang, CPNG is the stock. It's trading for roughly $46, $47. They're buying the 50s. So like I say, I'm buying an at the money one time. For every one time I buy that at the money, I'm selling an out of the money against it. You get the idea. You can also go over to marketrebellion.com/get started to learn all about how you can be the master of your financial universe. We've got courses in charting, courses in stock trading, courses in options trading, courses in crypto trading, all of that over at Market Rebellion. Just go to marketrebellion.com/get started. Sort of like that Rolling Stones song. All right, questions. You got questions? Hopefully I have answers. Let's see. DraftKings. Would like to see the numbers pulled in this weekend from DraftKings with March Madness. Could see a huge pop. I bet it does. I was gambling there myself because in this state it is legal to do so. We've also got Rivers Casino and a couple other plays. I think down in Indiana we've got Dave Portnoy's sports book, the Barstool sports book as well. So anyway, yeah, I do think the March Madness numbers will be crazy because it's rolled out bigger. Yeah, you could gamble a little on it last year. This year it's much bigger, and people have been sitting around for the year and are really anxious to basically put some of that stimulus money to work probably. So yes, I like DraftKings. I think the numbers will be good. Okay, so Zillow or Open Door? Zillow. Why? They're the biggest. They're the best. I didn't even ever use Open Door. I know what it is, and it is also basically a broker for finding you want to find new digs in South Florida or Texas, someplace away from the high taxes. Yeah, a lot of people are using these apps right now. Zillow is killing it. I use Zillow. I don't use Open Door. It's not to say Open Door is not good. I'd also buy Zillow stock because I think a lot more people use it than use Open Door. Bang. Thank you. There's a map of the two. They've been moving fairly lockstep, as you see. It doesn't matter which one's which, but for the sake of argument, Open Door is like that orange or reddish line, and the blue one is Zillow Group. So they were both a lot higher in February. They've sold off and are both in negative territory right now, but off of their lows that they hit that first week of March. Now let's talk Apple. All right. Hi, John. I have July 140 call on Apple that was part of a calendar spread. This was purchased prior to last earnings. Should I close or wait for a couple more months? Well, that option is still trading for $3.30, $3.40 last I checked. I wouldn't just let that go. So I would either be selling short-dated options against it or a higher strike against it if you want to bet that it goes higher. Now, that's a big jump because that's $17 above where Apple trades, 123-ish, I think. So if you wanted to, I looked at it, you could sell those and roll down to a lower strike and own fewer of those without putting more money on the table, except for perhaps the commission, depending where you trade. I would probably roll down if this were my money and I wanted to stick with it. Instead, I'm a guy who's selling options in Apple. Not that I'm not a believer, you know I am a believer, but I like getting cash flow. So I view this as an apartment, and I want to rent that apartment, collect rent. I don't just want to let it sit there empty. So I own the stock at 123. I'm short the 125 calls. I'm short the 130 calls 2 weeks out, that kind of stuff. I use all that cash flow to either make other investments or to have some fun. That's what I hope you do too. And that's the last of it, blank page. So that's the end of our presentation today, folks. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have a great day. Tell a friend about the show, and I'll see you on the halftime report and 3 at 3 tomorrow. Thank you.